is Rio for Life, Kim D, coming at you from Hibbing, Minnesota. And today we're going to kind of talk about a TV show, movie, a song that really is still just, it changed how I looked at the world, especially the world of entertainment. Um, I was just little, 10 years old, I believe. Uh, MASH, my dad let me stay up late. The other kids had to go to bed. And so it was awesome. He was going to college for a bachelor's degree in psychology. Now, keep in mind, my dad, active Mormon, he's a convert, married a woman whose family was fundamental Mormon, practicing polygamy. And so here, he's in, this is uncharted territory, for everyone. That's what life is, uncharted territory. And along the way, he taught me certain things. And these were taught during the night once a week when I got to stay up late and watch MASH with him. The biggest thing he started with was interpersonal communication and interpersonal relationships. It's kind of interesting. Those are the same things I struggle with, and I think my dad struggled with them too. When watching MASH, the commercial time would be lots of questions. What did you think? What did you see? What did you feel? It was like, I don't know, it was an interrogation. It really was. It was a flat out interrogation. But it was done in such a way that, oh man, I dug it. I was having so much fun because I felt grown up. At a college level, about between freshman, sophomore, college age, when I was 10. And so I had an understanding of all the things I was being told, but not real life application, not the type of understanding you get from from having a life and from living it. There's certain things you can know, and then certain things, I don't know, understand. It's hard to get the right verbiage for it. I knew what he was talking about. I really did. I knew the words, I knew the process, the concepts. I had read Jung, and Freud and all kinds of things on my own. So here I am, being interrogated, thinking it's joyful. No one should be asked that many questions about anything, ever, especially during a commercial. But I loved it. It was just me and Dad. So back to MASH. Here we are, season 6. There was an episode with Hawkeye and Margaret Houlihan, Loretta Swit's character, and Alan Alda, where they were trapped in a hut. And it was called Comrade in Arms. And this particular episode, they were intimate and physically intimate. And it was all brought out of the situation they were in. When they returned back to the camp, they decided, there were little jokes and crap going on, but then they decided just to be good friends. But that was one of the beginnings where their relationship really started changing. You could see in the different scripts and episodes that it was deeper. They had a different type of connection. But season 7 is what, boom, pushed that into overdrive for these two characters. And the episode was when they were trapped in a cave. Matter of fact, the whole unit were in these caves, but they were over in a little area, their own little cave, and it's the episode where it was discovered that Hawkeye is extremely claustrophobic. And he like can't even get inside. He is panicking. He is visibly in distress. Margaret, she doesn't have that particular problem. She's not in that kind of distress, and the distress she's in, she's not all panicky and pacey about it. Hers is the loud noises. Being so close to the war, so close to the gunfire, her brain's just losing it. But she's able to maintain a different type of physical, and she doesn't have that pacing anxiety that Hawkeye's doing, trying to go, oh my God, I can't deal with this. For her, all of that's going on inside her head. So when this is me at 11, now I'm seeing this new dynamic of how their relationship, and this is outside of the operating room, outside of the mess hall. This is in war. This is Korea. They're in a cave. They don't know if they're going to make it. And then, boom, these deep-seated fears decide to raise their head in a way that neither one of them could control or manage. Okay, so here we go. As Hawkeye is sharing his childhood story that brought on this whole fear, Margaret was listening intently. She was really connecting and giving active listening, and then shared things in return. And then everything, she enabled him to be able to enter the cave into safety with his fear. I say that again. Her character and her empathy and active listening and the words she used enabled Hawkeye's character to enter the cave with his fear. It wasn't anything she did that took that fear away. She provided a safe space for him to experience. And in return, he did the same thing with the knowledge about her and noises. Okay? He protected her. They protected each other. There was no physical sexual intimacy in this episode. That had already happened a year earlier, and they just decided to be friends. This episode made it to where the entire rest of the series pivoted for those two characters. There was an understanding. When difficult situations arose, they knew. I'm a kid, all these things were building blocks in my life, okay? So I always was aware of interpersonal relationships, communications, and how important your interactions are. There wasn't a lot of room for failure, success, practice for me, other than what I watched on TV with my dad, and then certain cartoons and shows, family friendly, of course, that I could watch without him. Now, family friendly for a Mormon family and family for TVs are two different things. I was exposed to so many things that I didn't understand what it was. Verbally, cognitively, I knew sex was a thing for grown-ups, and that it was private, and that it was involved your body. But I didn't understand the concept and real process of it. Or it was a conceptual thing, not a process, which is kind of normal for children. But a child with a high IQ and high vocabulary and processing and episodic memory, man, it set up the perfect storm for a lifetime of being pulled back to a moment. And so I have spent 50 years being pulled back into these particular moments from being 10 and 11. They were powerful. They were strong. So here we go. they maneuvered and processed and did the things. Now, when they went back to the camp, of course, there's a couple little jokes and things that would happen, but they just sloughed it off because everybody knew from a year before. Yeah, those two were just cool with each other. How many times do you have that moment with someone and then you weaponize that information that you've been given? You put it in a rainy day file to bring up when you're pissed or when you want to get something or you want to manipulate a situation. Create a condition where it stresses them because you know how to do it. This is also the flip side of the intelligence level and the things I was taught and trained. As a child, those are just things. Things you do. Things you do. Get what you need or want. Those are things that sociopaths and not so good people do. I'm not any of those, but I was taught and raised by one. So it took a long time for me to recognize different traits. I am very childlike, and that's due to being on the spectrum. I still look at the world with wonderment. I wake up joyful and happy and eager to learn and grow and experience. And most of us lose that. Most of us don't have that. I never lost it. It's just always been me. But yet I am a grown freaking adult, and I do know what I'm talking about. I just have a certain, I don't know, it's not a disadvantage anymore. I have a certain way of looking at things that is full circle, big picture, but can hone in on any one little item in a second. Going back to the MASH episode of In the Cave, there's a moment when Hawkeye takes his arm and pushes it against the cave. It's his character, the actor in the middle of his performance, just whether he slipped, whether he was catching his balance, whatever the thing was, you feel and see his hand trying to like become one, like just trying to hold on to this cave. It's like, I don't know, for me it was like seeing this human being just trying to have something real to grasp onto in the middle of the claustrophobia feeling and the panic and the chaos. So Margaret being able to pull him out of that and into a safe space, man, it's just, I'm grateful to be that person that can bring you out of that and into a safe space. What you do from that safe space, man, that's all up to you. But I can get you at least right there. Get you right to that spot. So there we go. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the song. So there are 3 pieces to MASH for me. And one, of course, is a TV show because that was my first experience with MASH. And of course, you know, the theme song. Okay, we hear the words, you know, ba 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 ba. Let's see. I had just pulled this up. Oh, good. It made it purple. Which one did I do? I think I did this one. Okay, the song, it was written by Johnny Mandel and Mike Altman. And he's the 15-year-old son of Robert Altman. It became famous as a theme song in the 1970 movie MASH. I was 5 years old when the movie came out. And then the instrumental form was for the TV show. They said it was the stupidest song ever written. It was written about the Captain Woodolowicz, Woodolowski. I can't remember. He was the dentist in the movie that wanted to commit unalive and be dead. And so they wrote this song because that was the theme they were given. was attendant for the music for the fake suicide, but then I think did they use something else? I'm trying to see. Let me read on this real quick. Yeah, it hit #1 in the UK in the 80s. That I did not know. Okay, so. Oh, where is the thing? 1 second. Got to get to my link here. See if it's going to come up. No, it did not come up. So maybe it was this one. Nope. I'm so sorry, I'm having my technical difficulty. So we'll try it this way.
One brave moment can start the healing, and that moment is now. Take the first step.
Okay. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Through early morning fog I see visions of the things to be. I realize that I realize and I can see. Suicide is painless. It brings on many changes, and I can take or leave it if I please. Game of life is hard to play. Gonna lose it anyway. Losing cards someday I'll play. So this is all I have to say. I can't sing this one. Suicide is painless. It brings on many changes, and I can take or leave it if I please. 2, 3, 4. The sword of time will pierce our skin. It doesn't hurt when it begins. As it works its way on in, the pain grows stronger, watch it grin. Suicide is painless. It brings on many changes, and I can take or leave it if I please. 1, 2, 3, and go. A brave man once requested me to answer questions that are key. Is it to be or not to be? And I replied, oh, why ask me? Suicide is painless. It brings on many changes, and I can take or leave it if I please. Impromptu little thing with the song. When I first watched the movie, I believe I was 14 years old. I'd moved already to Minnesota. Yeah. No, I'm wrong. No, I am. Yeah. I was 14. And when I watched it, it was so cool having the same person, the same actor for Radar, for both. And he was the only one that was in the movie and the series. Taking all of the experience I had watching it with my dad and then watching the movie, which was the forerunner before the series, and then a year later reading the book. Okay, so getting all the genres in. What it did for me is it helped me understand that song. the 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 whole everything, talking about war and loss and death and hope, and MASH gave that to me. As a child, as a young teenager, it gave me all those emotions and a way to recognize them. I was able to recognize different things through that. Okay. Now the problem that happened, that started at 14, that began when I was 10, is I don't know if I am actually able to watch TV, watch entertainment, and not have my brain be seeking all of the other data, the relationships, the connections, I can't just watch it and have fun. My, my brain just takes it all kinds of places. However, there is one form of entertainment that my brain doesn't do that as much, and that is the telenovelas. And I listen to them with closed captions and listen to the Spanish, or if they're in Chilean, I don't, what do people in Chile speak? I watch different telenovelas in different languages because I'm able to enjoy the chaos and the fun of it without having to break it down. Whereas if I just watch a movie, I watched Hail Mary, and I had 48 hours. It was a rental. Now, I thought you had 48 hours to watch it once. You could just watch it once within 48 hours. I didn't know you had 48 hours and could watch it multiple times. So I only ended up watching it 2 times, where I could have really dissected it. I bring this up because the second time I watched it, I really tried to concentrate on shutting off that part of my brain, just poof, making it go away. There's a little person, Brad, who does comedy, and he talks in many of his shows, he will talk about how it's hard for him in normal conversation to not be funny or find a joke in anything. And he goes, I just can't shut the comet brain off. It's just not a switch I can go off. Don't look for the funny. That made a connection yesterday. That's me. And interpersonal relationships and communication. My brain doesn't shut off trying to make connections and just experience it. Experience the life, experience the funny. It's always looking. Hopefully I'll get there. I'll be able to shut the brain down more and more as I do what I'm doing, limiting my options, reducing the stimuli I have around me, creating the best possible base for being in the world. MASH did a phenomenal job of addressing and identifying so many things right there under your nose, by adding the humor, by adding the realness. MASH wouldn't have worked at all if it were more the canned laughter. There were times there laugh tracks that existed, but MASH wouldn't have worked without the time, energy, and effort put into how it went all back to the movie, the book. It gave a life. It gave a life to Korea. It gave a life to war. It gave a life to survival. It gave a life to death. Ron Howard, I think he played Jesus, a young man who was really lost in his head, and creating the fact that Jesus was his comfort. There are a million things in that show that my brain continues even right now to pull from. It was pivotal. It was connecting with my father. It was connecting with something that wasn't Mormon. We never once talked about the church during any commercial time when MASH was on. It's like there was no religion allowed except within the context of what they were talking about. Like his father Mulcahy was doing something. There were different things we discuss. Yeah, 10, 11 years old having these types of debates and discussions with a grown adult. It made me feel like I was something. Made me feel like my voice mattered. In that context, for that hour, my voice mattered. Now, later I discovered my voice really never mattered. And Dad's just weird. But it mattered to me. And so I'm going to hold on to that. Even though it didn't matter to my dad. It's mine. I get to have it. I get to look back on those years and that time to prepare me for what I'm doing now. Because my voice still matters. It really does. And technology gives me YouTube. It gives me this to where I can share it and lighten a little bit of this mental load I have by sharing it with you. Coming and doing these lives and being here with you actually is a quite terrifying experience for me. I have to disassociate from the process of this for about 5 minutes before I hit that live button. I have to go to a place that I create. And it's like my own green room. And if I didn't create that green room, I couldn't be here. But I know now that creating the green room to use for situations, we all do that. We all have different forms of disassociation and different reasons. And we can pull back and not. Some people live in the disassociation. They live in that, creating new things as they go. And I want to encourage you to be patient. Continue to be patient with those that do that. It is challenging, I know, but be patient with us. Understanding the reality of the world around can be overwhelming, can feel claustrophobic in an instant. And then all the noise and the ruckus, unless it's in a certain environment, that can be very overwhelming as well. I don't have the same safe spaces that a lot of other people have because of choice. I want a quality friendship. I want the friends that I call my friends. They know that I'm there. They know I'm there for them. I might not talk to them for 3 or 4 months, but they could call me at any time and I would be here and listen. But me picking up that phone, yeah, that's few and far between. And normally when it happens, they're like, yeah, let's go do this. And so I want to be there more for them, and I haven't been. Thinking back on MASH helps me see how much to be part of a community and part of something you have to show up. You got to do it. You got to be there for it. And that's what I haven't done. I haven't been there for my friends. And they are, like I said, very few. I have less than 5 people that aren't family that I would actually consider a friend. But I have tons of acquaintances and people I would be there for and help. I've been quiet for 6 years as I've been rebuilding and healing. I cut myself off from the world for 1.5 years. I didn't step outside of my house except for a doctor's appointment. and an occasional just go out for a drive. And that was during COVID, and that was when my world fell apart. And I discovered everything that I blamed myself for was something the church instilled in me to feel that was wrong. Like drinking coffee. Drinking coffee is not wrong. And no human being should be in a 12-step program for fucking drinking coffee. And that's what they did to me. And it screwed my head up as far as so many other things. So I'm giving you the building blocks. These are the basic things that helped make me me. And that I look back with memories and fondness on MASH. I also discovered suicide wasn't an option. You know, suicide's painless, brings on many changes, and I can take or leave it. I, for well over a few decades, have had the feeling that I don't exist, that I don't need to be here, okay? They'd ask if I'm suicidal, and it's like, no, I'm just tired. I'm tired of being in my own head. I just don't want to do this anymore. And drinking helped until it didn't. I've been sober 14 years. There's so many things. Relationships helped until they didn't. I would absorb myself into the other person and their lives and wants and needs. And through all of it, I would tell therapists, family members, if I'm ever dead and I've unalived myself, just know that I was just exhausted. Just know that it was just, I was exhausted. That's a powerful thing to know. That I never wanted to die. I was just tired. I still feel that every now and then. I don't want to be on this planet. I'm just tired. I'm exhausted. The one thing that used to stop me was, I'd probably screw that up and wake up alive, and that would just be worse. That's a powerful thing for me. It's like, yeah, no, that's a different kind of failure. I'm not ready to face that one, so let's not even attempt that. I can take or leave it. I'm going to leave it. But I feel it. I feel those feelings. But I've learned what they mean for me. What they mean for me is I'm tired. I don't want to die. I love this planet. I love waking up. I love being here. And then I have to deal with people and things, and I get so tired so quick. So I want to let you know, if you're thinking and feeling that way, I understand. Understand that you don't really want to die. You're just tired. You're exhausted. And for some people, just getting through the day with their brain, man, that's just it. I mean, they'd rather just be naked laying on the floor and just be numb. Because it's difficult, it's challenging, this human condition we're in. And we're just going to tell you straight up, I'm glad you're here. If you are actually watching me while we're live or later on replay, I'm grateful to have you here sharing this air with me. Because you are important, just like I am. There's nothing you can't accomplish. You might not get it done today, but there's nothing you won't be able to do. We're going to need to work together, though. From MASH, you can see how these conflicts turned into collaboration. Hawkeye, Margaret, the conflict. And the result of that is a collaboration, not continued conflict. Not more blah, 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 he said, she said. Look at this example of two human beings in desperate mental states and physical danger, considering it's a Korean war, and they're under attack. But the outcome, and then the continued relationship and commitment to being friends. Now that's a whole nother trick. Time, patience, all the things that happen. We see it in our TV, we see it in our podcasts, we hear it. It's everywhere. It's up to you to figure out what you want to take from it, or if you're lucky enough, maybe you can just enjoy it and not dissect or have to make something more of it. It can just be on its own. I like Andrew Dice Clay. I'm not ashamed to say it. I love his humor. I loved it as a teenager. I have no idea why, but I do. I absolutely adored him. And it's so not PC. It's so just. But I can tell you, it's the one thing my brain, for whatever reason, just thought was funny. I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to dissect it. I knew. Oh my God, this is just blah. And I laughed anyways and didn't care. So yes, a new thing that I know about myself is, yeah, I kind of enjoy, no, I enjoy, not kind of, I enjoy some very inappropriate humor. And I don't have to dissect it, I don't have to do anything, but I can enjoy it. So there's my new thing that I have discovered about myself that I'm willing to share. And it's kind of an uncomfortable truth because not everybody, especially a female, 61-year-old female, and yeah, I would, if he were performing, I'd go see him. I would. And I'd laugh. I'm hopeful that I have many, many more experiences where my brain doesn't have to take it so far, where I can learn to just enjoy this life. And the traumas and all of it, just, I can't wish it away. I'm going to have to work it away. So here I am, working it away with you. So I want you to know, I am grateful for you to be here. This is just an amazing life. And, oh, Guzman, good day. My Instagram, okay, I'm going to make sure. I used my older phone to record so that I could pull this up just for you. Because to be honest, I never left MySpace. I'm active on MySpace. I'm active on Facebook. I'm not the person. Okay, here we go. We have Kimber4321. There's my Instagram and my Facebook, which I am monetized on. I get like $5 a month right now. It's slowly building up. I'm learning and having fun. That is Kim D. High. TikTok. Let's see. I don't know what my TikTok is. It's here, but I haven't ever gone in it. I just downloaded the app. Snapchat. Yeah, Snapchat. I have like 6 people because they're the only ones that I trust. That I do quick stuff every now and then when I'm traveling. And that way, I don't know, it's just a fun way for me to travel cross country and feel safe. I did 30,000 miles in, 10,000 miles in 32 days with a Chevy Malibu. Stayed in a hotel, I think, 2 times. It was an amazing adventure. I've got it all on video, pictures, Snapchat. I sang and danced Justin Timberlake's Can't Fight the Feeling at every rest stop, every gas stop, and every construction place where we were at a dead stop. Wicked fun. I had wicked fun. And that's just one of many things on that trip. And so I'm going to share some more of these things with you as I go on. And I'm going to do it like this, by talking about MASH, the item, the thing, and how it shaped and changed me. And the joys and pains of just basic living. Because face it, you're human just like me. We really have no basic differences. You have to eat. You probably wear clothes. Hopefully you keep yourself clean. Might or might not. Maybe roof over your head. You know, there's certain human things we need. You probably take a crap. Pretty sure you pee. Maybe into a bag, but you still do it. So face it, you're human. You are. So the minute you start thinking you're bigger, less than, whatever, just remember you're human. It's a great equalizer. So I'm going to sign off now, and I want you to remember that every breath is another chance and another choice. So get out there and live it. What's next? Go find it. Put it in the comments. You need a little help? There's plenty of ways to contact me. KimD1234 at AOL.com. We can set up a little meet and greet, and we can go move into a little face it a little more and see what we can do to help you on your journey. But until